Greetings. Today's topic is Jamaican need a revolutionary approach to tackle its underclass population issues through ecotourism. We will be discussing the above topic in today's presentation. First, I'm making a request for you to support this channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing today's video. Also, feel free to take part in any discussion below. Today's subject for discussions are 1. Dealing with the issue of having 1/4 of the country's population out of the formal workforce. 2. Keeping the youth active in a formal setting for the first 2 to 3 years after they leave high school. And 3. Using ecotourism to bring 300,000 people into the formal workforce. And 4. Creating 60,000 additional all-inclusive hotel rooms in 10 parishes or 10 regions across Jamaica. The Jamaican Minister of Tourism has shouted it loud and clear on the world stage that tourism is the one industry that can get money into the hands of the poor directly, as no other industry on earth can do. It would be good to see the Minister of Tourism adapt that same revolutionary approach in using the tourism industry to tackle the issue of poverty right across Jamaica. Not taking anything away from the achievements of the Jamaican Minister of Tourism over the past several years, for which Jamaica will forever be grateful. However, should the government of Jamaica pulled off the monumental task of engaging 300,000 Jamaicans out of the 750,000 people who are currently outside of the formal economy and put them to work in the tourism industry, the effects of the result would be of a miraculous nature, both for those people who have gained formal employment and for the country on a whole. While the government is rightly trying to upskill its people, the government needs to make sure that no one is left behind. It is from among those who are left behind that falls into gangs and all manner of criminality. Some studies have shown that the crime and criminality in Jamaica is costing the country's GDP to be as much as 10% of where it could have been without the criminality in the country. Hence, whatever can bring the crime rates down is worth the try. Youth need to be in employment or training within a few months after they leave high school, or else they will be befriended, then coerced into criminality. I have seen this happen in the 1980s, and it is still happening today across Jamaica. It was as if some youth went into a 2-year lockdown just after they leave high school. Then their communication skills, their attitudes, and their behavior declined dramatically. This decline in coherent communication skills started just after some youth leave high school, and some never recovered. Then 10 years later, when some old schoolmates run into these persons on the streets, one wonders if it is the same person that they went to school with and used to communicate with every day. Had there been a job opportunity in these rural areas, then these youths leave high school, when they leave high school, such as working in tourism industry, I'm sure that a lot of them would have jumped at that opportunity. One should bear in mind as well that a lot of students in rural Jamaica, including myself, we did not leave high school with 5 GCSE O level subjects or whatever the equivalent is today, CXC, etc. Due to my family background, the opportunity for me to be occupied was always there. People are always looking for work in rural Jamaica. I know this because my father had the largest fishing business in Black River from the 1940s up to his passing in the late 1970s. Then one of my older brothers took over the fishing business and carried on for another 20 to 30 years after my father has passed away. In, in one district of St. Elizabeth, about 5 miles from the Black River town center, about a quarter of the men in that district worked for my father in one capacity or another during his fishing business. Some worked on a formal basis and others worked on a casual basis, etc. A few years ago, that district was celebrating all the great men who had ever lived and served in that district. My father was one of the men whom they celebrated, though my father had never lived in that district. One of my nieces went to collect the award on behalf of my late father. This was 40 years after my father had passed away, and the people in that district still celebrate him just because he provided employment for them, though they were not earning much, I would think. By the way, about 10% of the men in that district also worked for the family of one of Jamaica's former prime minister, though most of them work on a casual basis, I would think. The regional airport is named after that former prime minister. One can only imagine that if there were a large all-inclusive hotel in the area, not just the men, but the number of women that would have been glad for employment in the hotel and tourism industry. Nothing has changed today. And in some cases, it is even harder to find work now than it was back then. There are also people in Black River as well who has their own stories about my father, which they have been telling me about all my youth growing up in Black River. One retired plumber working on my construction site a couple of years ago almost bringing me to tears when he told me how poor he was back in the days, and that if it was not for my father, he would have gone to bed hungry many nights. Things have not changed that much for many in rural Jamaica today. I'm in St. Elizabeth doing construction work every year for the past 6 years. I've only been working on my parents' house. I've always got much more people looking for work than I actually needed, some of which are very skilled tradesmen. Though on the news However, the government will say that they are thinking of importing skilled laborers because there is not enough tradesmen in Jamaica. The Minister of Health made that announcement last year in regards to the regional hospital being reconstructed in Montego Bay. The reason why the government is having problems with skilled labor is because they are doing a lot of different infrastructure projects in one city or town at the same time. For example, in Montego Bay, they are working on the airport, the Perimeter Road, and the Long Hill Bypass, and the regional hospital all at the same time. Then the private sector are building several hotels, including the New Rock Hotel, among other commercial buildings, all at the same time in Montego Bay. Hence, there is a shortage of labor, as very few tradesmen will leave Black River or other parts of Jamaica to work in Montego Bay due to the domestic and other reasons. Also, I believe that it won't be long before the government will be importing migrated laborers to work in the hotel industry in Montego Bay and other congested tourism hotspots in the country. While there are many disengaged youths in many rural towns and districts all over Jamaica, especially on the south coast of Jamaica. The effects of disengaged youths just after high school is quite similar to what we have seen happening to a lot of students after the COVID-19 2 years lockdowns. Even middle class children in Jamaica and children in some developed countries around the world has seen an increase in challenging behavior among children after the 2 years COVID-19 lockdown. Hence, Jamaica is not unique in this regards. The government just need to create opportunities for school leavers in the rural towns and districts all around Jamaica. And the tourism industry provides the country with a golden opportunity to do this. When one takes a look at the unemployed who are earning nothing at the moment, then the hustlers and street vendors who are not in formal employment, some of whom are only earning half of the official minimum wage in Jamaica. Then we have those who are earning the national minimum wage, which is where most of the all-inclusive hotels jobs are. And it would be a bigger advancement for the country, and it would add more to the country's GDP to bring 300,000 people out of unemployment and put them into a minimum wage job than to bring 300,000 people who are already on minimum wage to try and get them to earn 25% or 50% or 75% above minimum wage. It's better to take those who are not working, put them on minimum wage, than try to get those who are already on minimum wage to earn a little bit more. The government need to grasp the current opportunity that lies in the tourism industry and start to rapidly increase the Jamaican economy. Thanks for watching today's video. To support this channel, please share and subscribe and leave your comments below. God bless you. God bless our Prime Minister and the Jamaican Parliament. And God bless Jamaica. Until my next video, peace.